This should have been the keynote. This is definitely the best poster here. I've never found a bald guy so attractive. This is absolutely groundbreaking. Shut up and kiss me. This is the best thing I've seen today. He really is experimentation Jesus. This thing makes me feel alive. You brought so much clarity to AI within experimentation. These are just some of the things that someone probably thought when they saw my poster at the Speero and Datadog Experimentation Circus this year. So I thought it would be worthwhile sharing exactly what I talked about, because the poster in itself wasn't that. It was all about the chat. It was all about the chat, and if you were there or if you weren't there, you'll know. You'll have been told that it's all about the chat at the circus. So if you didn't make it, you should definitely try and make it along next year. But here's what the poster was about. So basically what we've done with Skyscanner is we plotted out our process. It was a process that already existed and wanted to reflect on how it currently works and how we're going to AI-ify that process. And it's led to some really interesting conversations about how we apply AI to our existing process to speed it up. I'm sure everyone out there feels like someone's pulled the magic gun on AI and everyone's trying to build like crazy. The idea is to try and use your current process as a structure to decide what to build and when. Now what we're predicting and what everyone's predicting is a big increase in development throughput through Claude and through AI and any other AI tool that will allow developers to move more quickly. Now, if that's true and if that becomes true in reality for everyone, then we predict that there'll be a bottleneck in the analysis phase. So having this process map has helped us identify that, and we've gone and already started to kick off a lot of AI processes that address that potential gap. But also aligning to the different steps in the process, you can start thinking about, well, what are the outputs from each step in your process, and what does good look like? Because as one of the big themes came out of the day at Experimentation Circus, was that if we're increasing throughput and speed, then we need more guardrails, and we need to be able to evaluate the outputs of AI more effectively. So yeah, being able to look at the definition of good at the end of each step, what are the outputs, will help you define the AI skills or agents that you want to create for each step and what they need to output. Also what they might intake from the previous step in the journey or the previous step in the flow. And then the final thing that I thought was pertinent about this, and we discussed a lot, was like who builds the skills and the agents. And this is kind of an ongoing back and forth at the moment, but do agents and skills get built by the specialists who are involved at the moment, versus do we have some kind of governance top down about the structure? So the process in itself is trying to build some kind of governance around it, but the idea is that the people involved in the process are the best people to write and design the skills at each step. And that's why having this process is kind of important, because it defines and provides a solid scope for each skill, each potential agent within the process. And it might be that in the future this process completely changes, but actually it's a really good starting place to just look at your current process, map it out, and look at the skills that are involved with each step in the process. And it also allows you to kind of devolve responsibility to the right people and get them involved. So for example, the design and UX team at the start of the process, they'd be the best people to design and build their own skills. And then you can start kind of bringing that in and start designing how each step in the process can then work with the next. Especially when we're talking about, for example, experiment libraries, knowledge bases. The knowledge bases, ideally you'd want to be able to read those really quickly, and they'd feed into your next research cycle. So how do all of those things work together? Start thinking about it as a bigger system as opposed to small set of skills that solve discrete problems. But you can do both at the same time, solve the discrete problems, link it to this overall process. So a process mapping is a really good place to start, and you probably have a process already for your human-based experimentation program. So yeah, that's it. Hopefully that's helpful. If you weren't there, you didn't experience it live, hopefully this video is helpful, and I will link the poster, or show a poster somewhere here maybe. Peace out. This is so insightful. Everything he said is right. These are some of the things that people thought, or probably thought, when they saw my poster at Speero Experimentation Circus in London this year. So what was the poster all about? So basically, everyone is probably feeling this now. There's this massive rush for AI and the power of AI. Everyone is trying to build agents. Everyone's just diving in, right? And the initial thought of this poster and what I created was, or what we tried to create for Skyscanner was, how do we try and rein that in terms of the process that we already run with humans today or in the past. So we built out the process that we go through for experimentation, running from research all the way through to concluding and building out the next steps for the next experiment or the next big thing. And it should be something that most companies have already. It's something that I've created over the last 10, 15 years, a number of times in different companies. What is our actual process? What are the steps we go through? Who's responsible for each step? Who inputs into each step? And it's good to have that really clear, because when we move to AI, those boundaries don't necessarily go away. It's very tempting for you to start encroaching on other people's roles and responsibilities, because you can do more, but it's not necessarily healthy. So by defining the stages that we go through in experimentation, we're able to create boundaries, and we're also able to define what are the inputs and outputs of each stage. And that actually helps us massively in defining what an AI agent does in a specific area. It also then allows you to kind of devolve the responsibility of that agent and the management of that agent to the right people. And mainly it's allowed us to kind of identify which steps in the process really need AI-ifying. If you're managing to run loads and loads of experiments, or your developers are all of a sudden able to double their throughput and build double the amount of features or double the amount of experiments, then it might be that you need to increase your ability to run analysis. So you might want to end up focusing your efforts in creating analysis agents. Or it might be that actually you're just not getting enough ideas at the initial part of the step, next step in the process. So you might want to focus there. And basically what you're trying to figure out is, what is the area or areas that you want to focus on where there is a problem in the process that helps increase the speed of everything you deliver, helps increase the value of everything you deliver. And that's why I think creating a process map and mapping the challenges to that process map is a great first step into stepping towards AI-ifying your experimentation program without trying to go whole hog and just build everything in AI. We want to try and maintain our human thoughts, our human input, our human control. And I think mapping out the process is a really good step and a really good start to maintaining that relationship, devolving responsibility and involving the right people at the right time. So that's what this post is about. I hope that was helpful. Hopefully we'll get this on a QR code on the poster for the US version of the conference. My thoughts on the Speero conference as well. I thought I'd dump that in here as well. Yeah, amazing time in London. Really looking forward to it next year. I wish I could go to the one in the US. Unfortunately, don't quite have the budget, personally, that is. But yeah, anyone who's looking to be part of experimentation culture and be part of the growing economy and what's the word, and be part of the growing global network of experimenters, then Speero Circus is definitely the place to go. It was really insightful. You had a lot of the top players there speaking, some really good talks and really good workshops. And I think that hybrid of conference versus a pub, I mean, what can go wrong with that? So yeah, really good fun, and yeah, definitely a good vibe. So I definitely recommend anyone checks it out next year. Yeah, so that's it for now. That was my poster. I'll hopefully put some imagery up here to show the poster as I talk through it. Peace.